A very good evening to everyone present in this Google Meet and to the viewers watching us on the YouTube. Today we are আচ্ছা এবার সব ঠিক আছে দেখা যাচ্ছে ঠিক আছে A very good evening to everyone present in this Google Meet and to the viewers watching us on the YouTube. Today we are organizing our 30th study circle. We are honored to welcome our esteemed speaker, Mr. Debashish Mukherjee, Librarian of the Department of Mechanical Engineering at Jadavpur University, who will be speaking on the topic Weeding Out Judiciously, Rejuvenate Library Uses for the Better Future. The session will be presided over by Dr. Avik Roy, Librarian at Derozio Memorial College, Rajarhat. Now let me introduce the president of the session, Dr. Avik Roy. Dr. Roy is currently working as a librarian at Derozio Memorial College, Rajarhat, Kolkata. He also teaches in the Department of Library and Information Science at Jadavpur University, Kolkata, and Department of Library and Information Science at West Bengal State University as a guest faculty. After completing his master degree in English from University of Bardhaman and masters in Library and Information Science, Digital Library from Jadavpur University, he obtained his PhD from Jadavpur University, specializing in Everyday Life Information Seeking, ELIS. His research interests include information retrieval, information behavior, attention economy, and digital libraries. He is a life member of ILA, ISLI, and BLA. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Avik Roy, sir, to charge this session. Dr. Avik Roy, sir, please.
Yeah, thank you, Shubham. At the very onset, namaskar to all. And I convey my profound respect to Professor Jadavpur Bhattacharya for allowing me and giving me the opportunity to be the president of this session, that is Study Circle 30th of Universal Briefing. And when I have come to know about the topic of this study circle, it is very much interesting as so far my outlook is concerned, because when we are dealing the practical world of library, it's really a very tough decision for us, and in two aspects. Number one is for the collection development and future development of the library, and another is more important aspect, that is to convince our administrator, that is the higher authority, about the weeding of this document. So the weeding out of document is very, very pertinent, very interesting, yet very neglected area of research. In this respect, I'm very much expecting that the session will be very informative, because I know Mr. Debashish Mukherjee, the esteemed speaker of this session, since a long time. Debashish da amader priyo. So, with this very brief note, I would like to introduce our speaker. That is Mr. Debashish Mukherjee, librarian of Department of Mechanical Engineering, Jadavpur University. He has a very profound experience of 20 years in the field of library and information science. Having graduated from University of Kolkata, he has completed his BLIC and MLIC from Jadavpur University. And he has a certificate in care and conservation of book, manuscript, etc. from School of Archival Studies, National Archives, New Delhi. He has qualified UGC NET, and presently he is pursuing PhD under the supervision of Professor Jadavpur Bhattacharya, Department of Library and Information Science, Jadavpur University. He is the life member of BLA, ILA, ISLI, and Universal Briefing as well. He has contributed many research articles in various national, international, regional level conferences and seminars, and contributed book chapters as well. With this short introduction, I would like to invite our speaker of the session, Mr. Debashish Mukherjee, to kindly proceed. Debashish, please.
Thank you, Avik. And good evening, President of the session, Avik. Thank you, Sir, Professor Jadavpur Bhattacharya, and Director Universal Briefing. Shubho Sandha. Good evening to all the respected dignitaries and the listeners and participants and members of Universal Briefing. It's a great pleasure for me that you have given me a chance to speak over your platform. So let's start. It's showing? It's visible?
Yes, it is visible. Debashish.
Okay, thank you. The topic of my speech is weeding out judiciously rejuvenate the library uses for a better future. First of all, my sincerest thanks to Professor Udan Bhattacharya, my supervisor and HOD LIS JU, Dr. Sravona Ghosh, Chief Librarian, Jadavpur University, Team Central Library, Team Department of Library and Information Science, Jadavpur University, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Jadavpur University team, and Team Universal Briefing. First of all, was seeing a picture of a newborn baby. What's the first duty of the parents of this baby? To register his birth, and it is the entire life cycle, and lastly the ultimate death certificate. The picture showing our life cycle from birth to death. We all are bound to some rules, regulation, and laws. No one is over laws, and all are equal in the eye of law. And library provides equal opportunity to all its users. We have the 5 laws in our library science. According to Dr. S.R. Ranganathan, he gives us these laws. Books are for use. Every reader, his or her books. Every book, its reader. Save the time of the reader. A library is a growing organism. And he also taught us the right book to the right person at right time. It is the ultimate motto or ultimate goal of a librarian and all the libraries. So it's depend on a good collection. If you have a quality collection, you can provide a good service. What is collection development? Collection development is the systematic addition of item to the collection, and it is consist of collection planning, collection evaluation, and collection implementation. Effective collection development and collection management policies need to be based on understanding of the strength and weakness of the current library stock and an assessment of how well it meets and needs of its present and potential users. Evaluation necessarily involves the professional judgment, but subjectivity can be reduced by using a combination of collection and user-centered measurement techniques and objective data. Collection-centered measures include size, growth, and quality as compared with standard. User-centered measures the ability of the collection. Examples are surveys of users' opinion, availability, and the accessibility measures and circulation statistics. Collection development policy provides guidelines to the library staff when selecting the selecting and deselecting the resources for the local collection. Here, the events cycle or the components of collection development. So what are the components? Are the selection policies, selection, acquisition, deselection, evaluation, and community analysis. All the components are interlinked to one another. We have already told that if we consider that collection development a coin, then book selection is the one side and weeding is the another side. Because collection development, book selection, book collection or collection development is the systematic addition and weeding is the systematic discarding. According to Harrod's Librarian's glossary, weeding is the discarding from stock books which are considered to be of no further use. Weeding is also known as deselection, collection renewal, collection re-evaluation, and deacquisition. Another definition is weeding removes outdated, unused, mutilated materials for enhancing the browsability of the collection and ensures continuous usefulness to take account of changes in institutional teaching and research interest. Weeding is a vital and crucial part of any active collection because it ensures it stays current, relevant, and in good condition. Weeding should be continuous. The reason for weeding stock is to remove outdated material for enhancing the browsability of the collection and ensure continuous usefulness and to take account of changes in institutional teaching and research interest. Weeding, the synonym of weeding is deacquisition, collection renewal, collection re-evaluation, deselection, culling, removal of item from stock or disposal. Weeding is also known the process of removing books and other material that are in dilapidated physical condition, contain outdated or inaccurate information, and do not fit into the scope of the library's collection. So, for weeding, we need to evaluate the collection. For evaluate, continuous review, evaluation, and weeding is known as CREW. This CREW method is very much relevant and important. We are going to discuss about CREW first. Where the CREW fits in. The entire cycle is selection and acquisition, cataloging and processing, circulation and referencing, and then in between the circulation and referencing and selection and acquisition, the bit in between part is the CREW part. Here CREW works. Here we evaluate, and how we evaluate we are going to discuss in our next. Before weeding, we have to evaluate the collection. The librarian or the library staff or the persons who are going to weed out or going to evaluate, they have to evaluate or they should become familiar with the library's material selection policy. They became familiar with the goals for the collection and library's role in the community needs and demand of users. Before reading, we should know how a particular item relates to other on the same subject. How much funds are available, cooperative agreements with other libraries, library considered an archival or local history center, relying on ILL for discarding. For weeding and evaluating, we use the following criteria. By use, date, author, publisher, physical condition of the document or physical condition of the book, how many additional copies of the books are there in the library or in the library stock, self-time, replacement expenses, relevance to the community, how relevant the book is to the community, that is how relevant is to its users, and other resources available. In this connection, for weeding out, we may follow the MUSTI guidelines. What is MUSTI guidelines? The MUSTI guidelines is what to weed out. The misleading, the ugly, superseded, trivial, irrelevant, or maybe obtained elsewhere. The misleading means and or factually inaccurate. Here, ugly means the worn and beyond mending or rewinding. Superseded means by a truly new edition or by a much better book on the subject. Trivial means of no disseminable library or scientific merits, usually of ephemeral interest at some time in the past and irrelevant to the needs of interest of your community, and elsewhere the material or information may be obtained judiciously elsewhere through interlibrary loan or etc. But Twitter, books and materials of poor content, books and material of poor appearance, the unused materials, topics no longer within the priorities of the collection. Why weeding? Weeding to save space, weeding to space time, to make the collection more appealing, to enhance the library's reputation for reliability and up-to-dateness, to provide a continuous check on the condition of collection, need for repair, or to provide feedback on the collection strength and weakness. Weeding is very crucial job because there are some barriers also. The barriers is listed here. The time constraints, it is very time consuming job. Insufficiency of experienced staff, professional awareness and reluctance, dilemma, resistance from users, rumors, nostalgia, something is better than nothing, demand for additional space if the shelves are packed, and the belief that the book may be needed in future and sacredness of the book, and the fund. So let's discuss the barrier first, the time constraints. Before reading, we should evaluate the collection, and it is not a easy job. It's very tough job. It is easy to select a book, but than off to without a book, because we have to consider many things before we discarding an item from our stack. So for this purpose, the library needs experienced staff. The technical experienced staff is very much needed for this purpose. And today it is a big problem, big question to all of us, that shortage of staff, shortage of experienced staff is also a problem. Professional weariness and reluctance. We have reluctance, no doubt. Dilemma. Dilemma is also a problem. Resistance from the users. Most of the time, rumors and resistance works together, and that's create a problem and makes a trouble to weed out. Nostalgia. Suppose few users will come and tell you that this book is gifted by my forefather or something else, or this book we have used in our student time, but they don't think how relevant the book is in present situation. But we have to face this. So it's a true. It's true. Something is better than nothing. When you read, someone will tell you that we are reading, but we don't have fun. But why are we reading? Let it stay. Demand for additional space in the slaves are packed. The belief that books may be needed in future and sacredness of the book. It's also true. And funds. Lack of funds and misuse of funds. Stages of reading. Before reading, there should be a reading policy. Before reading, there should be a reading policy, and reading policy should be a part of your library policy. Then next step is evaluate the collection accordingly. Evaluate the collection accordingly, and the evaluation criteria and the step is discussed earlier. Compare the stack with the statistics. That is, evaluation statistics and stack should be compared before reading. Examination and selection of items, preparation of list, and then the list. After preparing the list, the meeting will call, and meeting of the library. Librarian should place the list at the library committee meeting. Then circulation of this selection list, and it will be circulated among the members to the members of the committee. And after approval of the list by the library committee, this selection after it is approved by the committee, then this selection mark will be stamped on the item, and then we remove from the stack, and removal, then we have to remove it or write off from the accession register and removal from the database. It is the process. Then we treat the book according to their sleeves and order replacement promote with displays or incorporate wedding into routine. And what we do not weed out? We do not weed out the local history, works by local author, works with local settings, volumes of sets and series with special merits, older reference works augmented by, not superseded by, the later edition. Now, what to do with the weeded out material? We have weeded out the material, and what to do with that? We have to consider the condition of this book, and considering the book, we may rebind it or mend it or replace it or we promote it, and which are not belongs to this criteria, will dispose the item which are not belongs to the previous criteria. Then what we will do with the next or others, the books, then we may sell it, or we may donate it, or we recycle it, or if it is totally mutilated or destroyed, then we can destroy it. The four process we have, it's depend upon the situation and condition of the book. Here are some library disposal procedure of this is the Yale University Library procedures. They have clearly displays in their websites. I am sharing it to you all. This is the Dupre. This is the deselection procedure of Dupre Library. Many of Indian universities also have deselection policies, but I have also showing you the B.R. Ambedkar Central Library of JNU Library. They have displayed their weeding out policy. What they are doing, the library team prepare a list of old and obsolete titles and used since last 2 decades and organized subject-wise. The list circulates to the concerned schools and center for review. After review, the concerned school center, the list gets approved by the LSE, which we have discussed earlier. The approved books are withdrawn from the live collection and placed for pickup by the users free of cost and their academic use. And the remaining titles, library take the financial approval from the competent authority before disposal. And the right of policy to keep the controlled growth of the library with live and healthy collection. Old, damaged, and obsolete books are weeded out from the main collection. The weeding out of the last use old damaged books done through the definition process of the library. After weeding out process, the accession register after approval of the competent authority. We have already discussed in now. Now, I am going to tell you the story what I have done in my library. 2 years back, I have been deputed to the Department of Mechanical Engineering, and I have seen many mutilated and torn books are dumped. So what I do, that I am going to share with you, and how I do this and what type of situation I face, that I am going to share you. So let's, before telling about the story, let's, it is the structure of our library system, Jadavpur University library system. We have two campuses, Jadavpur University campus and Salt Lake campus. Jadavpur University campus have central library and departmental libraries, and departmental libraries are arts faculty have 13 departmental libraries, engineering faculty have 16, science faculty have 7 departmental libraries, ISLM and centers have libraries. Now the collection. At present, the Jadavpur University have 6,92,905 books in Jadavpur campus and 35,796 books in Salt Lake. 197 print journals. Journals online we have 10,354. Bound journals 82,154. We have 9107 thesis, 8631 dissertation, 6978 CD and thesis, 105 audiobooks, 35 braille books, online database. We have 29 online database. We got 7109 journals from the implemented collection, Isod Sindhu collection. We have 8907 ebooks, that is ebooks of perpetual modes, and ebook central and other from the ebook central and other platform. We got also the 3,20,000 more ebooks. We have around 40,000 of old and rare books, and also we have 3,000 of standards and 37,000 of non-book material. This is the faculty-wise distribution of books. Among 6,92,000 books, Central Library have 52.95%. Salt Lake campus have 5.16%. Arts faculty have 18.57%. Faculty of Engineering Technology have 15.35%. Science faculty have 5.19%. Faculty of Interdisciplinary Studies and Laws have 2.15%. And schools of center have 0.64%. Here, the department-wise distribution of books in the Faculty of Engineering and Technology. Architecture. Department of Architecture have 5.29%. Chemical Engineering has 6.57%. Civil Engineering has 13.16%. Computer Science and Engineering have 7.9%. Electrical Engineering had 13.78%. Electronic and Telecommunication Engineering had ETC, that is ETC, 12.46%. Food Technology, 5.27% books. Instrumentation has 1.45%. Mechanical Engineering have 14.50%. 14.50% of the total book consists acquired by the Faculty of Engineering, and Metallurgical Department of Metallurgy have 5.6%, Pharmacy have 5.2%, and Production Engineering have 9.36%. Now, Mechanical Engineering have 15,409 books, and our total book is 6,92,905. So this is the 14.5%. So among 14.5% of books, and after that, we have calculated that as per DDC collection, under the class 621, the university have 26,708 mechanical engineering books, subject mechanical engineering book, quote unquote subject mechanical engineering book. And among this subject, it is evaluated that 257 number of books are less used. It is found that 257 among 26708, 257 are less used. So among these 257, it is found that 157 books never been used till from the date of its accessioning. 71 books used once and 29 books used twice, and other books are okay. So here is the statistics of book use by the year of publication. We distributed the year of publication like 19 to 1949, 50 to 59, 60 to 69, 70 to 79, etc. And this is the statistics that which year belongs how many books. Among those, 257 books. This is the used by edition. The statistics showing the edition-wise use of books. Of those, total number of books is 257. 157 are never used. 71 is used once, and 29 books are used twice. So it is found that first edition books never used is 129, and once used is 53, used twice 25, and the total number is 207. It is very high. And in case of 9th edition, the number less down to 2. This is the picture. Now, after that, these statistics show how many books we decided to read out. That 257 books are less used. And we also got the statistics that during the pandemic situation, many books not been returned by the librarian. The missing or unreturned number of books is 89, and less used book is 257, and 163 books is badly damaged and mutilated, which is irreparable. We got the in condition that don't define it as a book. It's a part of book, or it's a part of books. It is how badly damaged it was. That number was 163, and after following the steps we have discussed earlier, we called the meeting, and we missed to tell you that during when I got these items, 163 mutilated books, I went to the central library and talked to chief librarian, and then suddenly I got the weeding out policy. Just few days before, Madam handed over me the weeding out policy, which was passed by the Executive Council, and I hand over it to the head. And it was easy, and that makes our process easy. That we able to discard this item, the 163 item, and we are also discarding these 89 items, and out these 257 items. So in conclusion, we must tell that book selection and weeding are the two sides of a coin in the context of collection development. Weeding is a continuous and necessary process for a lively and active library. For a successful and user-friendly lively library, continuous review and evaluation is highly required, along with the attitude of the librarian, and cooperation and collaboration from each corner of the institute is the ultimate key. That's all. Thank you. Any question, please?
Thank you, Mr. Debashish Mukherjee. We'll be talking or we'll be summarizing the session a bit later. We have a raised hand, that is Deputy Librarian. I don't know the name. It is Deputy Librarian. Please put your question. You can ask directly. It is Madhusriti. Madhusriti. Madhusriti, please. Madhusriti. Do you have any question? You have raised your hand. Or anybody else, if you have any question.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
First of all, I must say it is a very nice presentation. You spoke very nicely. Your speech was very nice, Debashish. But I would like to know who are the policy makers of the weeding out of or less used or unused books. And you are what I found that your topic is mainly based on university library, and what will be the situation of weeding out situation of the public library or the town library, say public library of government public libraries. Could you please give your views in this regard?
আমি বাংলাতেই বলছি দিদি, সেটা হচ্ছে যে আমি যে আমার যে প্রেজেন্টেশনটা সেটাকে আমি মোটামুটি যদি দেখি তাহলে আমরা দুভাগে ভাগ করা যায়। একটা হচ্ছে একটা ওভারভিউ অফ উইডিং আউট, এন্ড নেক্সট হচ্ছে যে সেটাকে আমি কিভাবে ইমপ্লিমেন্ট করেছি, এবং যে ইমপ্লিমেন্টেশনটা আমি করেছি আমার লাইব্রেরিতে সেটা হচ্ছে যাদবপুর ইউনিভার্সিটি যখন এক্সিকিউটিভ কাউন্সিল থেকে, সেন্ট্রাল লাইব্রেরি যখন এক্সিকিউটিভ কাউন্সিল থেকে এই ডিসপোজাল পলিসিটা পাস করালো, তার প্রথম ইমপ্লিমেন্টেশন আমি করতে সক্ষম হয়েছি এবং এই পলিসিটার মাধ্যমে। তো যাই হোক, সেটা তো একাডেমিক পলিসি, কিন্তু আমি যে পলিসিটা আমি শো করেছি এখানে, যে স্টেপগুলো, যে ক্রাইটেরিয়া, যে স্টেপস এবং যে জিনিসগুলো মানে আমি যে দেখিয়েছি, সেটা হচ্ছে একটা ওভারঅল সব লাইব্রেরির ক্ষেত্রে এটা প্রযোজ্য। এই যে ক্রিউ মেথডটা,
সেটা তো আমি বুঝলাম, সেটা সব লাইব্রেরির ক্ষেত্রে প্রযোজ্য। কিন্তু এই যে তুমি ধরো 100 কতটা বললে, 67 না কত মেকানিক্যাল ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং এর ফার্স্ট এডিশনের বই বিচার আনইউজ, সেগুলোর ক্ষেত্রে কি এই জাজমেন্টটা করা হয়েছে যে এইটা কেন আনইউজড হলো, কেন কেনা হয়েছিল, বা কত টাকা ইনভেস্ট করা হয়েছিল এটার পেছনে, এই ধরনের বিষয়গুলো কি জাজমেন্ট করা হয়েছিল?
সেগুলো তো বিভিন্ন মানে কারণ থাকেই, সেগুলো তো
এবং সেটার সাপেক্ষে কি কোন রকম সেরকম নোট দেওয়া হয়েছিল যে এই টাকার বইগুলোকে যে ডিসকার্ড করা হচ্ছে এই এতদিন ধরে আনইউজড আছে বলে? কারণ দ্যাট ইজ একদিক দিয়ে যেমন বই
সম্ভব হয়নি,
হ্যাঁ একদিক দিয়ে যেমন, না পরে আমি বলছি
পারা যায়নি, কিন্তু আমরা যেটা ডিসকার্ড করতে সক্ষম হয়েছি, যেগুলো ফেরত আসেনি সেগুলোকে তো আমাকে রাইট অফ করতেই হবে, সেগুলো জীবনে ফেরত আসবে
না
না।
না, সেটা তো রাইট অফ হবে।
বইগুলো একদম ছিঁড়ে মানে টুকরো হয়ে গেছে,
ডিলাপিডেটেড হয়ে গেছে,
মানে ব্যাডলি ড্যামেজ,
সেটার কথা,
বইগুলোর যেগুলো মানে ইররেপারেবল, সেগুলোকেও আমার রাইট অফ করা ছাড়া আর ফেলে দেওয়া ছাড়া কোনো উপায় ছিল না।
না, বাট আমার যেটা বক্তব্য হচ্ছে, আমার যেটা বক্তব্য হচ্ছে, ইউ হ্যাভ ডেভেলপড আ পলিসি ভেরি গুড, ইউ হ্যাভ পাসড ইট থ্রু এক্সিকিউটিভ কাউন্সিল, দ্যাট ইজ অলসো ভেরি গুড, and it has come, your advice has come for weeding out has come from your central library, that is also very good. But in future, have you ever are you concerned about the audit? When there will be audit, are you concerned that you have to mention that how much assets you are discarding, and on what ground? Is there any some sort of opinions or some sort of views you have to provide in your policy?
হ্যাঁ, পলিসিতে তো সেগুলো মেনশন করাই আছে, সেগুলো তো ডিফাইন করা আছে, এবং সেই পলিসিও আছে বলেই তো আমরা এটা করতে পেরেছি, তাই না? যদি পলিসি না থাকতো, পলিসি না থাকলে মানে আমার ঘরে কটা মাথা যে আমি বইগুলো ডিসকার্ড করে দেবো, আর যে বইগুলো অলরেডি নষ্ট হয়ে গেছে
সেটা তো কিছু করারই নেই,
এবং
যেটা নষ্ট হয়ে গেছে সেটার ক্ষেত্রে কিছু,
হ্যাঁ বলুন,
যেটা নষ্ট হয়ে গেছে সেটার ক্ষেত্রে কিছু করার থাকবে না, কিন্তু যেগুলো হয়তো ভালো কন্ডিশনে আছে
সেগুলোকে নোট দিতে হবে, এবং সেইগুলোকে আমাকে ডেটাবেস থেকেও সেইগুলোকে মুছে দিতে হবে, বা সেখানে আমাকে সেই নোটটা দিতে হবে ডেটাবেসে। আদারওয়াইজ ইউজার এসে যখন বইটা চাইবে তখন আপনি কি বলবেন? যদি সেই নোটটা দেওয়া থাকে যে এই বইটা এই কারণে ডিসকার্ড করা হলো, এই কারণে উইডিট করা হয়েছে, এই জন্য এটা ডিসপোজ করা হয়েছে, তাহলে কোনো সমস্যাই নেই। কারণ এগুলোকে তো প্রথমে আপনাকে লাইব্রেরি কমিটিতে প্লেস করতে হচ্ছে, তারপরে সেটা অ্যাপ্রুভাল হলে আবার সেকেন্ড কমিটিতে সেটাকে করতে হচ্ছে, ঠিক আছে? সেটা করার পর, এবং পলিসি আছে সেই জন্যই তো না আমি করতে পারছি, এবং সেই জন্যই আমি প্রথমেই বলেছি যে লাইব্রেরিতে অবশ্যই একটা ডিসপোজাল পলিসি থাকতে হবে, ঠিক আছে? এক, এবং দ্বিতীয়ত তোমার যে পলিসি, লাইব্রেরির যে পলিসি, তার মধ্যে একটা অংশ হতে হবে উইডিং আউট পলিসি। এগুলো যদি না থাকে তাহলে এই কাজগুলো করা অসম্ভব।
And is there any part in your policy of how much percentage of book you are to weed out in each year?
আমি অন্তত 100টা আর্টিকেল আমার হাতে আছে, গোটা বিশ্বের বিভিন্ন লাইব্রেরি যেগুলো করে বেড়াচ্ছে, আমি তার 2-4টে স্যাম্পেল এখানে শো করেছি।
দেখলাম আমি, দেখেছি,
ট্রেনিংতে করেছি। এর বাইরে আমার কাছে বোল্ডেন থেকে শুরু করে কেমব্রিজ থেকে শুরু করে গোটা বিশ্বের প্রায় 100 আর্টিকেল আমার হাতে আছে, যেখানে যারা কিভাবে করছে, এবং এখানে পরিষ্কার বলেছে যদি প্রয়োজন হয় সে রঙ্গনাথনই হোক বা অন্য কেউ হোক, মানে বিভিন্ন আর্টিকেল থেকে দেখা যাচ্ছে আমার প্রয়োজন হলে এবং সিচুয়েশন যদি সেই রকম করে আমি 80% পর্যন্ত বই আমি ডিসকার্ড করতে পারি, এন্ড দ্যাট ডিপেন্ড যে লাইব্রেরির কোন ধরনের কমিউনিটিকে সার্ভ করছে এবং কি সিচুয়েশন আছে, কি ডকুমেন্ট আছে, সবকিছুই হচ্ছে সাবজেক্ট ফর সিচুয়েশন।
Okay, thank you, Debu. I have disturbed you a lot with so many questions, but your presentation was wonderful.
আমাকে মধুস্মৃতি কোশ্চেন করছে, থ্যাংক ইউ।
হ্যাঁ, thank you.
Well, any more question from the audience? Or I have seen that we have so many students joined over here. Do you have any question to Debashish sir? They are our budding professionals. Any more question? Well, I guess no. Then moving on to the wrapping up of the session of this speaking session, I guess. At the very onset, I'm very much grateful and thankful to Mr. Mukherjee that I have experienced such a very nice presentation from him. And I congratulate for your research and for your further research regarding this area, because I have already mentioned that though it is very much pertinent and yet, unfortunately, very much neglected area of studies that we face, as Madhusridi already mentioned, that we face when we are practicing or practically dealing with books in physically, I mean, in our libraries. And it is not pertaining to only university library, as it is evident. All types of libraries should have certain policies of weeding out. We have to face, because of this space crunch and some other issues are there. I have so many experiences, particularly in my college library also, regarding this. But I will not delve into that because we have already lot of time and we are running. We have already spent so many hours. 1 hour, it's been 1 hour almost. So let's wrap it up. Mr. Mukherjee has already, in his preliminary slides, mentioned theoretically some important aspects of weeding out. That is, weeding out is a very systematic discarding. Yes, that is very interesting. Systematic discarding. And then the crew part, that is continuous review part, and what we have to do before weeding, and the criteria for the weeding out, and very interesting MUSTI guidelines. We need to follow, I mean, if necessary, the MUSTI guidelines, and with 11 points of barriers to weeding out, and 11 steps are there. And I have already observed in this that Mr. Mukherjee has mentioned 2 points, that removal from access and register, removal from database. I think it's completely my perspective. Removal, it's not like that. We have in Koha, we have certain options over there, that is lost, damage, withdrawn. Yes, we can use that.
Note on there.
Yes, definitely. And that is for our budding professionals who are youngsters, that you do not have to weed it out because there is audit. And the auditor comes and they want to know about the books. There are certain procedures. Yes, there are certain procedures. Obviously, you have to follow the procedures. You have to inform the authority regarding your weeding out and the quantity of weeding out of books. As well as, if you just tag this kind of terms with the weeded out books, that will be beneficial for your future references. And very nicely, Mr. Mukherjee has pointed out some disposal procedures with practical experiences, some B.R. Ambedkar Central Library, Yale University Library, and etc. etc. Next, he has moved on specific reference where he is working. Obviously, we have seen a very practical data from a working professional like Mr. Mukherjee, and very efficient professional, I should say. With this wrapping up, and with the very pertinent question raised by Dr. Madhusree Gosubadhyay, Deputy Librarian in NSU, we have experienced a lot regarding weeding out, the untouched or very less touched area of research. Though Mr. Mukherjee has mentioned that he has hundreds of papers, I'm very keen that maybe the research is very interesting regarding this. Now, lastly, I think as the discussion shows, that each and every library is unique by itself, by the nature of itself, I think. So if you are going to be the working professional in a library, and you are going to, it is very necessary that you have to weed out the books, the collection. You have to be, as the title suggests of the session, judiciously. You have to proceed with certain procedures, framing policies, because haphazard and unsystematic way of weeding out would definitely create some problems in the smooth running of the library. So depending on the particular nature for the community, for the users of the particular library, maybe it is public library, maybe it is school library, maybe it is academic library, special libraries, and other libraries, you have to draft your policy and accordingly have to move on. Thank you very much, Mr. Mukherjee, once again. And thank you, the Authority of Universal Briefing, the General Secretaries, Dr. Ranjan Samant, Dr. Swapun Khan, and obviously our mentor, Professor Dan Bhattacharya, and all the participants who have joined and listened to this. I'm handing over the session to Shubham. Shubham,
Yes.
the needful.
Thank you, sir. Now, as we have come to the formal vote of thanks, I would like to express our gratitude on behalf of Universal Briefing. Firstly, sincere
Shubham,
thanks.
one thing before going to vote of thanks, let's just announce our next study circle and the speaker.
Yes, sir. So our next study circle will be going to on 26th of June 2024. The speaker of the next study circle is Dr. Parthopratim Roy, Deputy Librarian at Vishwabharati University. So this is our next session for the study circle number 31. And that's it. Now I am going for the vote of thanks. So now as we come to the formal vote of thanks, I would like to express our gratitude.
29th of June, Saturday. 26th of June, Wednesday. 29th of June, last
Shubham,
Saturday.
that is 29th. I've already mentioned it. See?
Sorry, sir, there is
29/6/2024, Devaj. Yeah, that's okay. Saturday.
Okay. So I am. So the date is 29th of June 2024, Saturday. And our next speaker will be Dr. Parthopratim Roy, Deputy Librarian at Vishwabharati University. And the study circle number will be 31, and this will be on the next month. So now we are going for our formal vote of thanks. I would like to express our gratitude on behalf of Universal Briefing. Firstly, sincere thanks are extended to Professor Udyan Bhattacharya, President of Universal Briefing, for graciously providing this platform for scholarly discussion. A special mention goes to Mr. Debashish Mukherjee for his very meticulous presentation in today's session, and to Dr. Avik Roy for skillfully managing this session. Gratitude is also extended to Dr. Anamika Dash, convener of the study circle, and Dr. Atanu Dash for his invaluable contribution as a chairperson of this session. I would like to thank Mr. Abhijit Noshkar for his technical assistance for conducting this session. Lastly, heartfelt thanks are owed to all the participants and the viewers who have joined us for this session. It is hoped that everyone found that session enriching, and we are eagerly anticipate your presence for our next study circle. Thank you. Good night.
অভিজিৎ লাইভ স্ট্রিমিংটা স্টপ কর, বিকজ একটা মিটিং হবে স্যার বলেছেন।